Hey there, this is Andrew, and I'm here to bring you another KeyForge deck reveal slash review. And this one, we're going into the Wild Wormhole. I just managed to win this deck today in an Archon survival event at my friendly local game store. And so, since I have run out of other decks to review, I'm really excited that this worked out. And I mean, I could have bought one anyway, but hey, I'm really excited, and I decided to go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. As I do it, I'm going to walk through. I was thinking for some people that are new, maybe they don't know how the app works or how registering decks works, and so I figured I'd walk through that as well. So I'm just going to set the deck aside really quick and show you. So here I have on my iPhone the KeyForge Master Vault app, standard stuff. I'm signed in. If you when you first get this, you can set up an account if you don't already have one. It'll take you to the it's actually through the Asmodee website that you would set up the account. You get that taken care of, and then log in here with that. And then so once you're there, you can register decks. These are not. Oh yeah, this is Explore decks. So yeah, you can go in and look through all the decks that exist that have been registered anyway. You can see your own profile where you have your amber shards and keys. You can see I haven't spent nearly enough money on this game, and then you can see as well. Oh yeah, so by the way, let's see. So I have a total of 26 Amber Shards. Registering this new deck will get me another one. And then we have, you can look through your own existing decks here. And you can add a deck. Now, this can all be done through the website as well, through keyforgegame.com. And if you go there, you can log in similarly, and it's just there. So when we do it here, we're going to use a QR code to register the deck and just scan it in through the phone. But if we did it on the desktop through the desktop website, we could still use, there's a code that you can use. So I'll point that out to you as well. But we're going to do it this way, using the QR code, and it's super easy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and crack this deck. Oh, and by the way, if you order a deck online, I trust my game store, but if you order a deck online, one thing to check is that these themes are correct, because I have heard stories of some people opening these things up and looking at what's inside, seeing if it's something that they think they could sell for a bunch, and if not, then repackaging it. And if you I don't want to show really how to, but it is possible to open it in a way, and that was just sort of naturally how I was opening the decks for a while. But it is possible to open it in a way that you can kind of seal it back up, and if somebody wasn't paying attention, they wouldn't notice. Don't do that. If you're, I don't know, you should be ashamed if you're doing that to people. And you can see, if I were trying to, trick anybody, I would have done a bad job. And let's see what we have here. So okay, that's a fun combination right there. Dis, Shadows, and Brobnar. And we have Z, who usually loves blizzards. This is my second usually deck. And whoa, that's kind of a almost minimalistic art there. That's pretty cool. But we have Z, who usually loves blizzards, but sometimes does not love them. And we have Brobnar, Shadows, and Dis. And not anything. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and pop this thing open. And the easiest way to open these things, if you haven't done this before, is to grab this red strip and just pull it around. And having done that, actually, we could have done this even before we took the wrapper off, but having done that, I'll just go ahead really quick and take care of scanning this in. So, just getting that lined up. And there it is. So I got an Amber Shard. I can go to the deck page And there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through this. Put the art card over here. And let's start with Brobnar. So we have a blood money. That's good for some getting some amber in there. As long as we fight, which is what Brobnar wants to do. Follow the leader. This is a card I'm really excited about right now. It allows you to fight with your other creatures on a Brobnar turn. We'll see. It'll depend on what we have in Shadows and Dis, whether this is a really good card, but you know, having options is always nice. Then we have Punch, gain an amber and just 3 direct damage to a creature. That's good. I really like that. And War Song gives you amber for doing what Brobnar loves to do, which is fight. That's good. And Screech Bomb, which gives us some amber control in the form of denial. I expect to have more amber control as we get into Shadows and Dis, but Screech Bomb has Omni and Sacrifice. It's an artifact to make your opponent lose 2. That's pretty good. All right, and now we're into creatures. We have Fire Spitter, which is 5 power, 1 armor, and before it fights, deals 1 damage to each enemy creature. This is good crowd control if we need it. And we have Ganger Chieftain, which is going to let us ready and fight with a neighboring creature. That's fun. We might even get to use that on the Fire Spitter. That's cool. Headhunter, 5 power fight, gain 1. That's really good. I think it's a head. 2 Headhunters. That's nice. I like, 3 Headhunters. That's a lot of Headhunters. We will be bringing home many, many heads. That's fantastic. Okay, so, I mean, we have, so far, Fire Spitter, 3 Headhunters, and a Ganger Chieftain. So that's really nice. I wish I had maybe like Anger or Gauntlet of Command in here, but that's still pretty good. Oh, cool. I don't have this one yet. Pingle Who Annoys is 2 power, elusive, and you deal 1 damage to each enemy creature after it enters play. And I mean, you can imagine a situation where you have this thing and the Fire Spitter, and you know, they're 2 power creatures, just don't stand a chance. All those annoying, you know, Naughty and stuff like that, Dew Fairy, those just have no chance to stay on the board at that point. And then a Troll. 8 power, and when it reaps, it heals 3 damage. If it's 8 power, you probably want to fight, not reap, but it means you can get some fighting in, and then later on go to reap, and yeah, that's just fantastic. So cool. Okay, and now we're into Dis territory. Okay, so I thought, you know what, really quick before we move on, that's a pretty good Brobnar spread. With Follow the Leader and War Song, I mean, that has a lot of potential. The Punch is decent, you know, Blood Money, that's good. And then the creature spread, I just like having those Headhunters. Ganger Chieftain's always good. Oh, sorry, that wasn't in the camera. Anyway, yeah, so we have all these Headhunters, that's good. We have Pingle, along with Fire Spitter. I think that's an interesting combo that I want to see how that goes. Ganger Chieftain, Troll, I mean, it's just, I think it's pretty good. Okay. It's fun. And it's fun. I think it's a fun setup. Okay. Let's talk about Dis. We have Fear. Return an enemy creature to its owner's hand. Yeah, that can be pretty good. And you know, this is easy to compare to, say, Hand of Dis, which destroys a non-flank creature. But Fear has the advantage that it can work on any creature. So depending on what your opponent plays, this can be really good. Then we have Hand of Dis, and yeah, I had seen we have 2 of these. So the Hand of Dis, you know, destroys an enemy creature, a creature that's not on a flank. If you have like Dust Imp or something like that you can even put it in a place where you could use this on yourself. This is interesting. I think these aren't my favorite, because that not on a flank really means they're only useful when you're maybe struggling to keep board control, and then they don't do quite enough is what I feel like, but they can be good. I mean, at the right moment they can be very, very good, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, then we have Mind Barb. Gain an amber and your opponent discards a random card from their hand. This is fantastic. I love it. I'm always happy to have Mind Barb. Actually, I should say I love Mind Barb. I love playing it. If you do the math, I mean you have a 1 in 3 chance of it being, you know, the thing they want, the house they were planning on playing, which means 2/3 of the time you're actually just sort of clearing out their hand a little bit. But it feels so bad to have it done to you that I think it's pretty good. It's a nice thing to be able to play. Okay, Dominator Bubble. That's really good with what we have on Brobnar, right? Because we have some of those big Brobnar creatures. Dominator Bubble will let us use them outside of on a disc turn. So that's great. I love that. Ooh, and a key to disc. This means if we get behind, we can sacrifice this to destroy all the creatures without taking any change like we would with Gateway to Disc. So this is fantastic. This is a nice rare. Yeah, I like seeing the key to disc. Ooh, and Library of the Damned, which is an artifact that exhausts to archive a card, which is great. Archiving is so good. Okay, this is good. Oh, and then we have Dust Imp, which we can just throw at something, or even, you know, like I said, use the Hand of Dis on, and then it gains us 2 amber. So it's good, and then you kill it, and then it's even better. Ember Imp, if we can keep this on the board, it can be pretty oppressive. Your opponent cannot play more than 2 cards each turn. So that's always good if we can keep it on the board. Succubus, your opponent draws up to 1 fewer card. That's good. Ooh, we have 2 of those. I mean, you can imagine getting into a situation where, like, you have a couple of these, drop the Ember Imp, and your opponent's in bad time, having a bad time. The Terror, if your opponent's on 0 amber, then you gain 2 when you play it. So that can be pretty good. It just depends. All right, and then so we're going to be in Shadows territory in a second here. Let's see. So the Terror, it's situationally good. I like seeing Succubus. 2 of them is really good. Ember Imp, good. So it's not a strong creature set in Disc, but I would hope with the Dominator Bubble we're able to maybe get some Brobnar board control going and just keep it going with that Dominator Bubble. And the Library of the Damned, if we can get it out early, is going to set us up for some cool power turns. So, and then, you know, the Key of Dis as a backup is great. The one thing you have to worry about with the Key of Dis, if you drop it, I think it's good to drop it, but if you know your opponent has especially fast artifact control, like remote access or Poltergeist, then I think you just have to be a little bit scared about that, even with Nexus maybe. Although we probably have things we can do to deal with the Nexus, but so just be aware. Okay. So yeah, so that's the Dis, and then into the Shadows. We have Bait and Switch. So Bait and Switch is just really standard staple. You know, even things out. That's great. I think, you know, anytime I see that in a Shadows deck, I'm glad. We have Lights Out, which gains an amber and then returns 2 enemy creatures to their owner's hand. Fear lets us do this with 1. It is kind of funny because, you know, you have, I think I saw somebody ask, like, holy cow, you know, Lights Out gets you an amber and it does this to 2 creatures, while Fear doesn't give you an amber and it only does it to 1 creature. But I think you have to think about the amount of other control stuff that you're getting in Dis. And so just generally what you're going to get to play on a Disc turn, it probably makes sense this way. But anyway, just it is, I don't know, a little funny comparing the 2. Anyway, so yeah, Lights Out is good. I like seeing that. Ooh, we have Miasma, which gains an amber and makes our opponent skip Forge a turn. If you can get in a situation where you like have an archived Bait and Switch and then you pull a Miasma, causing your opponent to skip Forging a Key, and they just decide to blow past 6, you can set yourself up for a really great Bait and Switch. Oh, Oubliette. You purge a creature with power 3 or lower. This is really good for some of your annoying creatures. You know, you use this on a Fagin or something. Fantastic. Okay, good. So that's some decent control there. A little more board control in Shadows here in the form of direct damage with Pawn Sacrifice. Gain the amber, sacrifice a friendly creature if you do deal 3 damage each to 2 creatures. With the things I've seen so far, I probably am hoping I get to use this on Dust Imp. It's always nice if we have some urchins to maybe use it on, but I'm probably hoping I can use this on like a Dust Imp, or maybe something that just already has a lot of damage. Seeker Needle exhausts to deal a damage to a creature, and if that damage destroys the creature, gain 1. Okay. Oh, Speed Sigil, scary. There's a lot of potential to hurt yourself here, but it's a fun constant effect artifact that gives you an amber when you play it, and then just causes the first creature that comes out each turn to come in ready. Okay, Bad Penny, interesting. So that's a good pawn sacrifice target. And then yeah, just one power there, and then when she's destroyed, she comes back to your hand. Oh, hey, look, we have Fagin, and oh man, could this be 3 urchins? That would be so cool. We'll see. I think at least 2 of them are going to be, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, so Fagin is 3 power and elusive, and reaps to return an urchin from play or from your discard pile to your hand. This means you can like play an urchin, steal 1, play pawn sacrifice, kill your urchin, do that damage, and then reap with Fagin to pull the urchin back into your hand, and play it again, stealing again, which is just fantastic. Oh, and it looks like we're going to end up with two urchins, I think, because we have an old Bruno here. So 3 power, elusive, and when you play, you capture 3. That's counter synergy with bait and switch, except if you can get it, you can get into a situation where, like, let's say on one turn you play old Bruno. It works kind of similar to Miasma. You know, your opponent's on, say your opponent's on 7, you old Bruno, they drop down to 4, and then they can't deal with the Bruno, so they burst back up to 6. Well, at that point, you can call, and you have bait and switch available. You can call shadows, bash your Bruno into something to kill it, even pawn sacrifice it, so they get the amber back before you bait and switch. That's a decent way to play that, although, you know, it just depends on your situation whether that's a good idea or not. I probably, if the bait and switch would drop them below 6, and killing the old Bruno would push them up to where they would still be on 6 after the bait and switch, I'd probably rather keep them from forging. Okay. Then we have an urchin and another urchin, yeah. So these are just 1 power, elusive, and when you play them, you steal 1. But, you know, very good pawn sacrifice fodder, even good Seeker Needle fodder. It'd be really interesting to get into a situation where we can, like, you know, urchin, Seeker Needle, Fagin, urchin, pawn sacrifice. I mean, that's pretty cool. So what do I think this deck is going to be good and bad at? I think, so obviously there's a lot of steel in here, and you can get some great situations where you like bait and switch and then play a couple urchins or something like that to steal. How do I feel about the Speed Sigil? Well, it depends, because if I mean, so there's a lot of things in here where it just means reap, right? And I'm not that excited about that. For Fagin, it's good, assuming I have the urchins somewhere where he can use them. For these, it doesn't matter. For the Dust Imp, it maybe matters, but probably not. So I don't think it really matters for any of my disc stuff. And then in Brobnar, do we care? Let's see. I mean, getting to drop Troll and fight, that's okay. That won't matter. The Pingle is just a constant effect. And then we have the 3 Headhunters, and, you know, getting to drop them with the Speed Sigil on board is fantastic. Same with Fire Spitter. So that can be good. You just have to be careful. So, like, the total number of creatures here is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... And what do we have in here? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's a pretty decent number of creatures. I think we'd get good value out of Speed Sigil. We'd get pretty good value out of Speed Sigil. At least some reaps, probably some other cool effects. But just also be aware that there's a decent chance your opponent will get value out of it too. And, you know, one of the things you need to do is think early on, are they going to get more value out of this than I am? So that's definitely a possibility here, something to be aware of. Yeah. Oh, and is that a bit? No, it's a little too far to reach. Okay, I'll do it a different time. Anyway, yeah, next, I'll probably do another video soon where I just give a quick recap of how that Archon Survival Tournament went today, because it was pretty fun. And yeah, and I got this as well as a little other swag. Oh, really quickly, I will just see if I can pull up here and show you. Let's see, let's flip this. Let's see. We'll grab Z, who usually loves blizzards. This might not be new. Oh, wow, they're quick. Okay. So, let's see. I mean, on score SAS-wise, this is not super high. But, you know, I'll tell you something interesting. Looking at... And let me flip this around really quick. Ooh. Oh, yeah. This is the really cool shirt that my brother and sister-in-law gave me for Christmas. I have too many board games, said no one ever. Anyway, so looking at this really quick, you know, like I said, it has 77 SAS score. Let's see, we have 3 total rares, and I'm pretty excited about those rares, actually. The key to this even is probably better for us than our opponent, because while we can do some control with Brobnar, I would be worried about the opponent getting ahead on creatures. So that's a decent card to have around. But if you look, I just thought it was interesting, the 2 decks that won at the Vault Tour events this weekend. One of them, I don't know if they did. I heard in Seattle they did a sealed event, and so that's kind of interesting. But that one is only 81 SAS score, and the one that won in see, this one I think was played at a Chainbound event, so I think this must have been Archon and not sealed. But this one's only 93 SAS, so imagine, I mean, this was one winning at Archon, an Archon format that's still a high rating, but it's definitely not the highest out there at a big event with a lot of people that, you know, had like 2 groups of Swiss because they had so many people. So anyway, I just think that's pretty interesting. So just a reminder that these numbers are useful. They can tell you interesting things, but don't make the mistake of thinking that, you know, the higher number is always better, or that's all there is to know. You know, this, I have some ideas around, like, how some of the things will work together. I think the Follow the Leader probably won't end up working out super well. It could be okay, but probably not super great. But I'm excited about the Dominator Bauble with Brobnar and some of the other control stuff out there. I'm really excited about the Pingle plus Fire Spitter. I think that could be really good. So I have some ideas, but, you know, I won't really know for sure how all this stuff fits together until I get out there and try it. So anyway, that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this deck reveal. I sure had fun doing it, and I like I said, I had a lot of fun playing earlier today. And yeah, just get out there and keep going through the wild wormhole and forging those keys. Have a great day.